So you just got your new Tesla, or you're refreshing your app like 100 times per day waiting for your VIN, and now you're wondering about accessories. And well, as a Tesla creator, I've tried literally every accessory under the sun and then some. Brands just throw them at me, like I'm not joking. And these are all the ones that I can't live without, or my must-have essentials that I think you'll like as well. Also, everything in this video will be linked below. I have taken the liberty of labeling everything 3/Y equals legacy 3 and current Y. M3H is the new 3, and yes, that means rear-wheel drive, long range, and performance. And finally, if it's through test stuff, you can use code YouTube for 10% off your entire order. All right, so starting out with literally the first thing I put in my new Model 3 Performance, floor mats. Assuming that you're not buying a rear-wheel drive base Model 3, your Tesla will come with floor mats, but they're the flimsy carpet ones that get dirty in 2 seconds and are super hard to clean. If you are buying a base Model 3, well, you get nothing. Get some all-weather floor mats. I personally recommend XPE as it helps with dampening road noise, which for an EV is exactly what you want, and they clean up way better than TPE. TPE, in case you don't know, like materials, is the super thick rubber ones that you've probably seen before, and that's after 2 months, even after you've cleaned them, they start looking awful. If you're just using the car for driving and you're never really hauling anything around, you're never putting anything in the front or trunk, you can just get the normal set, which covers the interior. So driver, passenger, and rear passenger. However, if you want extra protection because you do actually utilize the rest of the car, then look at getting the extended set in addition to the normal set. The extended set includes the trunk mat, the trunk well mat, and the frunk mat, as well as for the Model Y only, mats that velcro to the back sides of the rear seats. Next up is something that I think everyone should own, even if you don't own a Tesla, a portable tire inflator. I've talked about the Fantech X8 Apex before on the channel and will continue to do so because I literally carry it with me everywhere I go. Well, actually I carry the bigger X9, but for most normal people, the X8 is perfect. It's super small and compact, can pump up all 4 tires on a single charge, charges via USB-C, doubles as a battery bank, and triples as a flashlight. I'll have it linked via Amazon below, and if you use that link along with the discount code on screen now, you should be able to save some money. The code may not work, it may work, it just depends on if they're running a deal or not. Fantech also has a V8 Apex, which is a compact portable vacuum that I also keep in my car, comes with a bunch of nozzles, sucks really hard, and overall, it's great. I really like it. Same thing, linked via Amazon below. Use the code on screen here. If there's a current deal, then that'll get it for you. Next up is a screen protector, or if you have a new 3, screen protectors. I'm not recommending it because I think you'll crack your screen, but instead to 1, protect against scratches, which definitely can happen. 2, the coating makes touching and swiping much better. 3, getting a matte one will reduce glare from light coming into the car. And 4, if you do have a new 3 with the rear screen and you have kids that love kicking, well, you can kind of see where you probably need some protection. The next accessory that I can't live without, organizers, and there's more than one. First up is the sliding organizer for the center console. Great for keeping stuff like your keys, wallets, or other important things up top. And assuming that you do get a sliding one, then it can be slid back to easily access the underneath area. Armrest organizer, same reasoning as the center console organizer, except of course it can't slide for obvious reasons, but it keeps all your important things up top while still allowing you to utilize the space underneath. The new 3 finally added grips for the cup holders, which is great, but if you're in a Legacy 3 or current Y, your cup holders still kind of suck, so get a cup holder insert. Will keep your drinks in place, along with being much easier to clean because you can just take it out and spray it down. The hidden storage insert under the armrest, I mean, I wouldn't say that this is like I can't live without it, but it is pretty cool, and it's great for storing whatever you might not want other people in the car seeing. Trunk bins are up next. The new 3 has slots on both sides of the trunk like the Y does, and having bins means you can put dirty stuff in them, keeping it separate from the rest of your trunk. Then you can just take them out and spray them down. This actually comes in really useful when like you go to the beach or something and maybe you have shoes or whatever that have sand in them or something and you don't want sand to get everywhere, so you just put them in the side pockets, right? And then you take it out when you get home and you just wash them them out. Next up is, well, I actually don't know if I would consider this an accessory, but it's definitely something that I need. Tint, and while we're at it, we'll also discuss PPF. These cars are fish bowls and tint is 100% needed. I've been tintless on my new 3 now since I got it, just to see what it's like, and I mean, it's not bad, but I cannot wait to get my stuff tinted, especially because Tesla has made the dome lights brighter on the new 3, which means at night when you get in and out of the car, I mean, it's like having a spotlight on you. Also, my car's AC has been working overtime because of the heat here, so I expect my car to become slightly more efficient once I've gotten tint because, well, my AC won't have to work as hard. Now, tint laws vary state to state, so I can't give like a blanket recommendation. But on my last 3, I had 20% all around, the full back glass done, and 50% on the windshield. As for what type of tint, it was ceramic, and the brand, it was XPEL XR+, but I actually don't recommend that. That's because, well, it gave off like this terrible blue hue to everything. Like everything just looked blue, like looking into the car, looking out of the car, everything just had this really weird blue tint to it. However, I will more than likely be doing the same percentages I did on my last 3. Excluding the windshield, I may just skip that altogether just because filming out of it was super annoying. And if you are curious about windshields, it is technically illegal pretty much everywhere in the US to have your full windshield tinted. In some states, you can get a strip at the top. Like I said, you'll need to check your local laws. But I know most people will just end up doing a 70% on the windshield because it's borderline clear, but it still rejects a ton of heat. And to be honest, when your windshield is tinted, that's heat that's coming in pretty much directly on you. And when you have something rejecting heat there, you can immediately notice a difference. As for PPF, well, I actually have a video coming soon all about PPF, and it may include me doing a DIY PPF, so yeah, stay tuned on the channel for that. Now, while we're on the topic of heat rejection and protection, the next 2 accessories, roof sunshades and mud flaps. Roof sunshades are actually so nice. Like if you live in a place that gets super hot, yeah, these are a must have even if you have tint. You can pay an insane amount and get an automatic one that'll like you press a button, it'll like roll out and then it'll roll back whenever you want it to, or you cannot spend like $600 or $700 buying one of those, and you can get ones that you just put up yourself and you can take them down when you want, and you don't just constantly have this like big automatic curtain hanging over you all the time. And to be honest with you, I actually find the ones that you put up yourself and you can take down to work a little bit better. As for mud flaps, these are kind of a no-brainer for protecting the side skirts from your car kicking up debris. I personally recommend the more subtle ones for most people, but if you prefer the super bulky ones for like a rally look or something, or the effectiveness, because technically bigger is better, but you also remember bigger equals less aerodynamic, I'll have the ones I used linked below. They were Rally Armor ones, and I loved them for the time that I used them. Next up is a phone mount, because the wireless charging pad phone holder, it kind of sucks. They're just in a terrible spot if you actually need to see your phone, and mine just always overheat. Like, I don't know if that's just a me thing. I've seen other people complain about it, so I don't think it's just a me thing. I personally prefer dash mounted phone mounts because that's just what I found works and looks best. I also do not like charging mounts because that means 1, you have a permanent wire running through your car, and 2, it probably has super slow charging. Old Model 3 and Y have up to like, I think it's like 20 or 30 watt via the USB-C ports, and the new Model 3 has up to 65 watts. So I'd rather just have a cable on hand to juice up real quick and then put the cable away. However, if you are set on having a charging mount, I have personal experience with MagBack, and I believe they offer the best one. It attaches to your screen, and the wire run is pretty much invisible as long as you follow their instructions on how to hide it. I'll have it linked down below, and you can use this code right here. I think it'll save you like 10%. Ambient lighting is up next if you're in a Legacy 3 or current Y, because after having it in my old 3, no way I can go back. If you have a new 3, well, then you can kind of skip this part. The one I had and recommend is the RGB dash light strip. It takes less than 10 minutes to install, requires 0 hard wiring, hundreds of color combos, auto turns on and off, just all the bells and whistles. There is even a center console version which can sync to the dash strip via an app for an even better look. Seriously, if you're looking at getting ambient lighting, these are the ones to get. They are so easy to set up, which is like the biggest problem with every other ambient lighting kit out there. Now, this next accessory is not going to be for everyone, but you know who you are if you want this. A radar detector. Seriously, I brought this with me on my delivery day. I'm actually surprised no one mentioned it during it. Like, I think I've just uploaded so many videos where you just see this there that people are just blind to it now when they watch my videos. I personally use and recommend the Uniden R8. It's pretty much the best consumer grade detector out there. It constantly picks up speed traps from well over 2 miles out, and I feel almost blind without it. However, if you are looking to save some money, the R8 and R3, both from Uniden, are good choices as well. Also, for people wondering about my setup, you know, it's attached to the rear view mirror and there's this tiny little wire that you don't really see. I've made an entire video detailing it and how to hardwire your radar detector that you can find here on the channel. And yes, for people that are wondering, the process in that video is still valid for the new Highlands and even the Performance. It's how I hardwired my current new Performance. I'm also gonna quickly take this time to shout out all of the car wash stuff I use. I'll have all of them linked below, along with a video on how to properly and safely wash your Tesla. The comments from people on that video speak for the method. I promise you, your car will have never looked better if you use that method. Jack pads, I could totally live without, but I don't, because I would rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them. Teslas cannot be jacked up like a normal car. You need these jack pads to insert into any one of the 4 jack points around the car so that the car can be lifted safely. The last thing you want to do is to get a flat or something like that, and the people that come to help you don't have these, and you have to risk damaging the battery. Just throw them in your sub trunk in case you ever need them. Charging adapters are up next, because the more plugs you can use, the better. The J1772 adapter should come free with your Tesla, assuming you bought it new. This is going to cover literally all of your level 2 destination charging. However, I highly recommend you pick up one of these Karen locks, because if not, anyone can just walk up and unplug you. They're like $10 on Amazon, and I'll have the one I use linked below. I don't recommend those 3D printed ones because, well, if someone's trying to unplug you and they can't at first, what are they going to do? They're going to pull even harder, and that's when those 3D ones, they break. They're not good. Spend like an extra $2 and get the good ones. There's also the CCS adapter, which I have not used in like a year, but I thought I'd mention it because you might find more use of it and may actually want to pick one up. You can buy it straight from Tesla, or you can get a third-party one for a little bit cheaper. But those are all the accessories that I personally can't live without, along with a few extras. Like I said, I'll have everything linked down below, and don't forget that you can use code YouTube, all caps, for 10% off your entire order from Test Stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are new around here and you do want to see more Tesla-related stuff in your YouTube feed, then feel free to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.